A new Oxfam report says that income inequality is out of control, and it has the staggering statistic that 22 men have more wealth than all 326 million women in Africa. Take that in, just pause for thought. Christy Hoffman is General Secretary of UNI Global Union. Good to see you, ma'am, as always.
Thanks. Nice
What do you make of that statistic? I mean, it's offensive, it's dreadful, it's awful, but it's a fact.
Well, the problem with that fact is it's a continuation year on year. Every year it gets worse. Every year it's one of the top risk factors in Davos, and it's time to do something about it.
What?
And I want to raise, my issue is I represent working people. There is no solution to income inequality without worker voice, collective bargaining at the core. There is, it's very important. It may sound old-fashioned, but unless we can have bargaining that thrives, we're not going to take the steps we need to do to protect our democracies, social cohesion, and even build the consensus that it takes to take on climate change.
Do you think you're making progress convincing companies about the necessity? Has there been a turn? Because for so long, the idea of collective bargaining was an anathema and still is to many companies.
I think where we're making progress this year is that the OECD, the ILO, the global deal all came out with very comprehensive reports saying the data is clear. Bargaining goes down, income inequality goes up. Bargaining goes down, societies have slower growth, less strong outcomes, unable to weather the economic ups and downs, better for gender. There's a lot of evidence. So the question
the evidence may be there, but are those who need to take the decisions to move your agenda forward being successful?
I think you're seeing some progress in some countries where leaders are waking up to the fact that this is bad for our society. But no, we're not seeing enough progress. And that's why we're talking about it more. That's why it's becoming a bigger issue on the global stage, because it's as bargaining goes down, we're going to have the same problem year after year.
Does it bother you that Jeff Bezos is worth 130 billion in the sense of we can see how he got it?
Yeah.
He happened to have the shares in the company that went upon the stock market. Same with Bill Gates and Microsoft. You see how they got it.
It's terrible that we see how they got it. On the other hand, with this amount of wealth, Jeff Bezos, he has more wealth than one could have even imagined, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And Amazon is a problem. Amazon's a problem. They collect all the data they've got the data, they've got the monopoly power across the platform, they've got workers that are, forced to
You still buy from them?
Actually, I will say, I live in Switzerland. Right. I don't buy from Amazon. But of course people buy from Amazon. My kids buy from Amazon. I'm not saying Amazon doesn't provide a service. I'm saying they can't own the platform and sell the products that they own as well at the same time.
There's a difference in this year's Davos, isn't there? I was saying it to John Defterios. It's not about the economic crises, left or right. It is more guttural in the sense of it's an environment, and people, even CEOs, are determined to come here and grasp it.
Yeah, the environment, it's also, look, we've got social upheaval. We've had the age of anger where we've had people on the street every month for the past how many months, more so than any time in the post-war period of the amount of street protests happening. There's a sense of urgency this year that is like, this is an emergency. We have to do something about it. And that's why we want to say we've got to deal with inequality.
Which arguably is the rationale. Klaus, in the interview, he makes it clear, all this hoopla of parties and this, that and the other is not really what it's about. From him and from most people, it is about what goes on in the Congress Center.
Right. I think that's fair. But on the other hand, there's a lot of words. We need action. We need rules. We need action. This is we're skeptical on my side that the businesses are going to do this just sort of as
skeptical
a race to the
or cynical?
Top. I think maybe a little of both, but I'll go with skeptical.
Good to see you.
Thank
you. As always. Thank you very much indeed.